Okay, let's see. Let's continue our aces. Next one, ace, ace, king is 12. So now we have a new issue, which is, let's see, test. Oops. Void test. AAK is 12. We can use our newly formed method, ace, ace, king is 12. Problem is a couple things. One, this actually doesn't handle more than 2 cards, so we're going to get a problem right away in our test. It will fail, but maybe for the wrong reason. Actually, it's going to succeed for the wrong reason, and that's not so nice. That's hard to tell sometimes. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and rewrite this. We don't have a failing test. Let's fix this. For int I and 0 equals 0, I less than data.length I plus plus. It's not data, it's hand. All right. Then we're just going to add that card. And it's I. Okay. So if all goes well, we will have one failing test. Okay, we got one failing test. Let's wait, let's make sure it's one. Yeah, only one failing test. Okay. All right, so now what do we do? All right, so we're trying to make sure that ace, ace, king is also 12. So ace, ace is 12 because one is counted at 11, the other one's counted as 1, so it's 12. When the king comes along, that's 22, or once again, over 21. So we need to try to get down under it if we can. We have an ace that has not been converted to a 1 yet, so we do so to get to 12. And that's not happening in code. And the problem is, let's see, here we're checking to see if we were busted. And if we are, and we have aces, we decrement. The difference is that we should just keep doing this as long as we have aces and we're over 21, we should decrement. So we should just go like this. While that's true, keep doing it. Let's see if that worked. I think it's going to fail. It passed. I'm actually surprised. My fear is that we are not deducting the number of aces, but it passed. I'm happy. It worked. Yay. Let's declare victory. Oops, I forgot to, hold on, I got to undo. I forgot to save it when, or commit it when it was failing. So let me back it out and do a fail. All right, sure enough, it failed. And change that to ace, ace, king is 12. That failed. And now let's make it pass again by changing it to while. That's all we're doing, man. That's a very small change. And let's see if it goes. All right, passes, it went green. So let's go ahead and say it passed. And let's clean it up. That is about as clean as that gets right now. We are starting to form a new set of duplication in test. I can see a rhythm happening. So I'll leave this part here. That was a leftover from something else I forgot to remove, but let's leave it. I think we're clean. Let's call it clean for now. We could clean it a little more, but let's keep going. All right. Next part. Here we go. Ace, ace. King, queen is 22. Let's hope we did a good job designing our test to catch the next problem. Ace, ace, king, queen. The issue that I'm looking for here is that while loop, you know, has no notion, like we're not keeping track of the aces going down. So let's see if this next test catch it. If not, we should really make one that does, that highlights that issue. All right, ace, ace, king, queen, it should be 22. All right, save it. Does it fail? Sure does. Expected 22, but was 12. Why? Because it just keeps reducing aces, even though it doesn't have any aces to reduce. That's okay. That's why we tested it. This is ace, king, queen is 22. We have a failing test. Let me commit it. And now let's make it pass. So really, we need to check for these aces as long as we have them. So every time we decrement one, we're really converting an ace. So this aces is keeping track of the unconverted aces. In fact, that's probably a better name for it. So let's note that. Improve name for aces. That's something we want to do. All right, but did it pass? It did. Okay, let's going to recompile and do it again. We've passed. Now, let us clean it up. So I said that the name for aces probably needs to be improved. Should be like unconverted aces. Now let's do a search and replace. Find aces and replace it to unconverted aces. All right. Or maybe we should say aces counting as 11. Maybe that's better. Yeah, let's do that. Aces counting as 11. Counted. How about counted as 11? There we go. I like that even better. All right, find. Oops. Okay, replace, 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 replace. Don't do that again. Okay, good. So aces counted as 11. Save. Make sure that we didn't break anything. Let's see, I should do this more in the Java style instead of the Python style I'm more used to. So aces counted as 11. There we go. Let's just do a replace all, be daring, because we have tests to help us. Plus, that's a pretty uncommon string set of found for. So replace all, bam. And that should pass the tests again. Okay. Nice. What other cleanup work do we need to do? So we can get rid of that. Duplication in a test, we do have some. We should clean that up as well. Maybe. So all of this could be put in to one test, which is the aces behavior, like how aces behave. I think I would like to do that. So test aces. Let's combine all these tests, and I will make sure I put the less complicated ones first. Now, this violates some people's rules. They might say, well, wait a minute. You should be testing these separately. So, oops, wrong thing. Okay. But I would claim that this is the aces behavior, right? This is how multiple cards work and so forth. This is a single one. Let's move that up. That's part of being an ace. And when we do that, we should probably make it like the other ones, right? So assert hand is value. Ooh, I like that. And we can do new char. I like parallelism when I can, because it helps me identify duplication and such. So that should work well. And let's see if we broke anything. Nope. Okay, so I know that's dealing with the aces behavior. This is multi-card. That probably, I could put that. Well, now we don't really need this because we could argue one way or the other whether we need it. We could put an ace in here, and that would kind of capture some of this as well. I don't want to go there right now. I just want to get to a place where there's very little duplication. Now, I do see duplication between hand. Let's see, hang on a second. Got some noise in the background. Okay, let's get back to this. So I have I'm cleaning things up. I do have a repetition here. I could turn this into data where we're doing hands, kind of like what we did down here for data. Yeah, let's do that. I like that. So what we're going to do is create ourselves a data object again. Object array data equals, and what this is going to look like is we're going to have hand, and the value is 12, or 11, excuse me. Pulling those out in pairs. Okay, and we're going to do that for each one of these. Pretty confident. I'm taking a bigger step because I've done this kind of thing before in the same code, and I'm pretty confident about it. So I'm going boldly, moving boldly. All right. Okay. And this is going to be a loop for int I equals 0, I. You know what? I should just take the code because I already did some good work down here. It's still moving in pairs like this, right? Yep. Okay. And that's the basic loop for it. All right. Now the difference is this is not a character, it's a char array. And we're not doing assert card is value, we're doing assert hand is value. And if all is well, let's see if it passes. Oops, I have missing a semicolon. There we go. You notice it didn't make it smaller, but it did remove duplication. As mentioned, you know, that's the goal here. All right, so now we have something for testing aces. We could turn this into, you know, the same thing like assert hands are values, and then pass data. Turn this into a method. This is not removing duplication, but it is trying to get to a parallel form again. Void assert hands are values. This is an object array still for data. Check that still works. Okay, and now let's notice something else here. So we have this notion of hands. I'm going to move that down here. Assert hand is value. Assert hands are values. Okay, we have notion of hands, and we have a notion of card. And we realize that I'm noticing that a single card is really a hand with one card. So I really don't need a notion of individual cards like these. So what I really should do, and I could remove some of these methods down here and make it a little tighter if I just consider everything as a hand, and a hand is an array of cards. So let's make that a little tighter as well. This is fine, it's using hand, okay, for multi-hands. Let's move that first, because that seems like something that should be first before you test aces and stuff. In fact, a lot of these are not in the order I probably want them. And I'll be cleaning that up here too. Okay, so let's turn this into something like this. Assert hands. I don't want to do cards. I want hands are values, not cards are values. But to do that, these each have to become a char right now. You may be looking at this going, wait. Look, you're writing a whole lot more code for each one of these, and that is true. And there's yet another improvement to be done. But right now, I want to make these parallel. I want the structures to look the same in each method. I don't want them to look different. Again, that allows me to do more refactoring if I'm careful. So whenever possible, try to do things the same way. Then you will see where the duplication is. Let's see if I did a good job. All right, that worked. And let's see, let's get rid of this blank line here. Yeah, okay, that's good there. Let's do the same for this one. New char array 2 is 2. New char array 6 is 6. Oops, 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 oops. I hit something weird on my camera. Okay, there we go. Get rid of those. Change this to assert hands. Our values. Method, assert hands. Looks like I messed up somewhere. Error, cannot find symbol. Assert hands are values. Hands are values, not has values. Probably a better thing anyways. Okay, that's good. Coming down. Okay, that's all of them. So that might mean I can get rid of assert cards has values. I'm not sure if that's true. Let's just delete it and see what happens. See, I'm relying on my tests to tell me when I make mistakes. That worked. How about this? Assert card is value. Let's get rid of that form of a test, that assertion. I may not need that anymore. Yay! Much better. So now I've got assert hands are values and assert hand is value. And that's all I have. Much simpler. I'm done with aces. I've got rid of a lot of the duplication. I think I'm going to invert these. I want the simpler test, the more basic test. The first, I want to, put it in the same order I had it in the first place, because that's kind of like how I thought about it. And if somebody else comes along and reads my code, I want them to learn about blackjack the same way. So I'm teaching Java the same way I'm teaching somebody else about blackjack. So here we go. We got testing our numbers, then we test our tens, then we test multiple cards, then we go ahead and jump straight into aces. That all looks pretty good. Now, there is one more thing I might want to consider here, because I'm kind of done with all the duplication. Let's make sure all this passes. Yeah, it's passing. The one thing I may want to do is change char array to a string, right? Because a char array is a string. That depends on how you want to represent hands, but an array of characters to me is really just a string. And that will make this even look prettier and with with a lot less junk around it. So it'll start looking like this. And that would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, let's see if we can get there. And the way we're going to get there is by writing it like this. And hands, let's see, I want to note that this is string hands. I'm going to have a different method because it needs to handle that differently. Assert hands are values. So let's change that. Get a new one down here. Assert string hands are value. This will now become a string. Each one of these are a string. Okay. And then I need to also, it should be a assert string hand is value. So I need another version of that too. Let's move this down here. And let's make a copy of this thing. I'm duplicating things, but I'm wanting to keep things compiling as much as possible. So that's why I'm duplicating. I don't want to touch the old until I got the new in place. So assert string hand. This is a string that should be coming in. And now when you come along, okay, so here's the trick. So hand, we can't do it this way. Instead, we have to do char at. For some reason, when they invented strings in Java, they used char at instead of get. So char at gives you the character at that index. Wow, that's the only change I have to make. Let's see if it worked. Uh-oh. No, okay. So hand doesn't have a length. Hand is a string. You have to say, I believe it's length. Oh, I could have just left that. It's a method call instead of an attribute. Ta-da! So all that works now. So these new methods are in place and they work on, whoops, not those. These two are in place and they work on strings. And so now we can convert all of these to assert string hands are value. Assert string hands are value. And we do that by converting these each to string. Again, this might seem like a lot of extra work. The issue is, do you want to have char arrays or strings? I like strings better, and so I'm changing an interface. This is changing my public API, how it works. It no longer works on arrays of chars, but it works on strings or hands. I think that's kind of natural in Java. If you don't like that, you don't have to do it that way. But whenever you make an interface change that's that drastic, you are going to be changing a lot of your tests and code. Well, tests more than code. There we go. Still passing the test. Let's convert this one over. Assert string hand is value. And if I did this right, I should just take these away and turn this into a string. Oh, look at that, look at that. Beautiful. This code is becoming so nice. By making this simpler in my tests, you got to remember I'm also making this simpler for my clients. Anybody who uses my code will get to use a nicer interface too. So if my tests are nice, my client code should be nicer too. They'll be happier with me. I am my client, right? So I'll be happier with myself. It's worth taking a little bit of effort now and getting this interface a little better. So that way I can code faster as I do the next thing. The next thing your boss asks you to do, you'll be able to get it done faster because you made it easy on yourself. Make it easy on yourself. Oops, I need to change this to string hands are values. That's the compiler error, okay. Bam, there it is. Okay. Now, in theory, these older methods can go. Let's see. Pop. Nobody should be using those anymore. Waiting for it to catch. There it caught. All right. And sure enough, no problems. Now the last thing is I added this string into each one of these to differentiate it from the old methods. I don't need that anymore. So why don't we do this? Let's do a search and replace on string hands and just make them hands. Let's be careful with this a little bit. Replace, 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 replace. Nice. Okay. Save it. Okay. Looks like I passed. So yeah, so now it says assert hands are values. Assert hands are values. Oops, I got a string hand in here. How did it get through there? Did that fail? Should have failed. Whoa. Assert string hand is value. Oh, that one did not. Oh, because it's not plural. Okay. So let's do the same thing here. I should have caught that before. Hand. That's just hand. Find. Okay. Replace. Replace. All right. 2 values. Done. Check it. There it goes. I did something wrong. What did I do wrong? Search string hand. There's still a string hand in there. Oh, right, sure enough, there it is. Replace. Okay. See, that's why we have tests. Okay. Nice. So now it's assert hands are values. Assert hand is value. And we have these tests up here that are using us. Pretty darn nice. I like it. I like it. We could make this one parallel structure with these. That's one thing we could do. There's only one of them though. It's only doing one multi-cards test rather than multi-cards test. That's an option. Depends on how you want to handle it. But I think we're in good shape. Let's get rid of this. Let's take another look at our code over here. Again, all we're doing is refactoring and cleaning up now because we're at the end. This looks pretty good. Let's see how it reads. Hand evaluator. We got cards. We have aces. Aces counted as 11, or 0 of them. We can add a card. Yep. Evaluate, which gets added to the list. Yeah. Evaluate does the calculation. That makes a lot of sense to me. So this is going through the cards and summing them up. We could separate that into a separate method that just sums up the cards. And then we could have a separate part. Yeah, we should clean that up. Okay, let's do that. So what we'll do is we'll make sum cards. and that will be in total actually. So we don't even need to do this. We just do some cards will give us the total. And let's move that down. Private int sum cards. Int total started at 0, and let's return total. Now this method does one thing, and it's very clear what it does, and that makes this method evaluate more clear. It sums up the cards and puts it in total, and then it does this stuff, which we will need to talk about in a second. Tests are passing. So let's do the same thing with this. What is this doing? This is adjusting aces. So let's do that. So let's do adjust aces, passing it total, and out comes total again, a new total. Let's see how that works. Put it down here, right under it. Private int adjust aces. You know, yeah, I wish I want to think about that name more. I'm not going to do it right now, but I feel like I should be able to come up with a better name. And if I did, I'm going to change it, right? All right, and then return the new total. And let's see if that can handle it. I think so, because it's just going to use the ace count there. All is well there. So now check this out. Let's see, evaluate. Get the sum of the cards, that's your total. Then you call adjust aces, and you pass the total, gives you the new total, and it returns the total. Nice. And what does sum cards do? Adds them up. What does adjust aces do? Okay, it adjusts them down. Pretty good. I feel like the name should have something about if total is busted or something, like adjust aces not to bust or something like that. I don't know. Let's leave it alone for now. Evaluate card. I give a card, I give you back its value. This is doing something other than just evaluating a card. It is counting the aces. I think I'm okay with that. And this is doing an interesting adjustment. We could turn that into a method that tells us what this does, like get number value or something like that. I'm going to leave that too for now. I think this is pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. How are we doing here? That's looking pretty good too. Okay, I think our tests are clean, our code are clean. Let's make sure our tests are still passing, tests are still, buffers are saved, buffers are saved. Okay, and let's go ahead and put in clean AAQ. So that was a big one because we were kind of cleaning up everything because we were done, right? All right, big changes there at the end, but all refactored. Baby steps, but you know, one good commit. That's it. We're done. Let's take a look at our log, see what it looks like. One final look at our log. All right, we had a setup. We made our to-do list. Then we started working through them. Fail, pass, clean, 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 fail, redesign, because we had to change our implementation to get to a pass or to get to a place where we can make the fix easy. Passed it, cleaned it. Fail, pass, clean, fail, pass, clean. And then our last cleaning was quite significant to do this last clean. But we are now done. And at this point, I would merge this, well, I would squash all this down and merge it into the master branch. Not going to bother with that because that's not the purpose of this right now. So that's it. I hope you got something good out of this. I hope that helps you out. Ooh, I probably want that blank line again. I can always improve this. All right, so I'm going to leave it here and go forth and be productive. See you later.